So I just got back from watching Disclosure Day, the new Steven Spielberg joint, and is it good? I mean this in the most genuine way possible. This is not a joke. This is not this is not ironic. I'm serious about this. You're better off watching War of the Worlds 2021. I don't mean that because I had more fun with War of the Worlds 2021. I genuinely think this is a objectively, critically worse movie than that. Because at least Disclosure Day 2021, not Disclosure Day, War of the Worlds 2021 knew it was a piece of shit. It was proud of being a piece of shit and showed it front and center. Disclosure Day tries to hide behind the name of Steven Spielberg to hide the fact that it is possibly the worst alien movie ever made. At least the worst I've seen. Which is so weird because Spielberg has shown that he's able to direct so many great alien movies. He has made so many alien classics. He made E.T., obviously. Close Encounters with the Third Kind, which is a lot similar to this one. He made War of the Worlds 2005. That's a good movie. So this guy isn't incapable of making good alien movies. I mean, like, he took everything good about his previous alien movies with this one, sucked it dry, sucked every ounce that makes Spielberg movies Spielberg, and left us with possibly the most bland, empty, and soulless film of the decade thus far. Boy, am I ready to get to rip into this one. Okay, let's start with the one positive I have with this. Emma Stone is tolerable. She's fine. She's the only actor that seems like she gave somewhat of a shit about this movie. She's all right. But when the best aspect of your movie is just all right, that's how you know you screwed up. I wouldn't be this mad about a movie if it were just, maybe it was just an alien movie made by Netflix or some indie filmmaker or someone on a low budget. Because this is what this film feels like. It was made for streaming, made by a low budget filmmaker, someone who's trying to replicate Spielberg but fails miserably. But no, this is Spielberg. He's done it before, so how does he mess up this bad on his what fourth, fifth attempt at an alien movie? His previous ones were good. This one, it feels like a first attempt before he found his footing. Which sucks because he's already found his footing in this kind of filmmaking, but here he absolutely stumbles. This is Steven fucking Spielberg we're talking about. The man who made Schindler's List, Minority Report, AI, artificial intelligence. On the topic of AI, oh boy, in this movie, so there are a whole bunch of shots, a whole bunch of scenes that are so clearly AI generated. Like, I'm not even speculating. I'm pretty confident that some of these scenes were generated or altered by AI, which sucks because this is Spielberg. This is so many people's childhood heroes. Someone that so many young filmmakers, including myself, look up to. I love this guy. He's one of my favorite directors and a top 5 director of all time, period. And then he decides to stoop this low and use AI of all things. I knew there were signs. Like, he made AI, artificial intelligence. Masterpiece, by the way, but he also showed that he had sympathy for AI. And now he's using it. Boy, how the great have fallen. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. I'm not even mad. The movie itself isn't what makes me mad. It's the fact that Spielberg made it. Because This guy has decades of experience. He started off the 2020s really strong with West Side Story, great musical, and then followed up with the absolute masterpiece that is The Fablemans, which might be my personal favorite of his, right alongside Schindler's List. So he has a good streak, and Disclosure Day to me sounded good. Another alien movie from Spielberg, who's done it so many times before. Why not? Why not? He might. I thought he was going to take everything he has learned about alien movies in the past and bring it all together to make his best alien film yet. And from the trailers, this actually looked kind of good. My only slight skepticism is that the visuals would be a little washed out. Boy, did I underestimate the visual style in this, because this has some of the worst color grading and lighting I have ever seen in a movie, and the colors themselves are so bland, like the choices. It's just a mix of tired grays, light blues that barely grab anyone's attention. Like, it's probably more visually stimulating to just stare at a brick wall than to watch this movie, because at least the brick wall has color, which this movie does not. Like, there were no creative decisions made when it came to the visuals. They just decided put the most boring shade of gray on screen. That's it. Now, on the topic of the aliens, um, I'm going to be honest. They try to do shit with the aliens in the third act, and utterly and miserably fails at it. I much like with the War of the Worlds comparison I just made, I mean this in the most genuine way possible. I think they executed the aliens better in Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. Fucking Kingdom of the Crystal Skull did aliens better than in this movie, because little spoilers here, but they try to set up a connection between the main characters and the aliens, and it's potentially interesting, but the way they do it, the way they just bring it all together is pathetic. It is desperate. The third act ramps up the stakes, but in the most pathetic and desperate way possible, because the third act is like a desperate attempt to try and regain people's attention, to regain their love. And it just ends up absolutely shitting itself and becoming a mess of, once again, the bland visuals and alien slop. This movie makes me question why I liked Aliens to begin with. Aliens are a cool idea, but this movie made me like them less. Like, I genuinely think my love for the idea of aliens in movies and in general dropped a bit after watching this. I feel like I lost brain capacity after watching this. Not because it's super dumb, it is dumb, but it's not because it's super dumb or infuriating, because it's so bland and soulless. Because, oh boy, I haven't even gotten into the worst aspects of it. You think the visuals and the aliens are the worst aspect? Let's talk about the pacing. This movie comes in at nearly 2.5 hours long, and boy, it feels like double that. It is such a slow, bland drag in the first 2 acts of the film. I did not give a fuck about what any of them were doing. It's the most generic, right away from the government, reveal the truth, alien this, alien that kind of story. And then in the third act, it all of a sudden goes into maximum overdrive and once again, absolutely shits itself. I'm like, Spielberg, did you take your meds, buddy? You're like, what? Uh, boy, oh boy. And the performances. Aside from Emma Stone, the rest of the performances, they're not even bad. They're not even like blatantly bad acting. It's just tired acting. All of the performances are so tired. Aside from Emma Stone, who has the slightest twinge of care for her character she's depicting, all of the other actors seem like they do not give a crap. They don't want to be there. They're just there to get their paycheck and leave. That's how I felt watching this movie. I was just there to get my popcorn, then leave. Because I had high hopes for this film. I thought this could be his best alien film yet. Not only does it end up being his worst alien film, it just ends up being his worst movie to date. I'd rather watch Always. I'd rather watch 1942. I'd rather watch Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. Dare I say, I'd rather watch Dial of Destiny than to waste time with this movie again. Because every aspect of it feels like it has little care put into it. It feels like a streaming film that the producers didn't have any hopes for. Just put it on there for the sake of having it. But no, this is Spielberg. This is one of the most renowned directors of all time, giving us one of the worst movies of this generation. I'm not even mad, Spielberg. I'm just disappointed. I expected better from you, and you ended up making every possible bad choice you could with this movie when it could have so easily been another Spielberg classic. Because this man, he has made so many classics: Indiana Jones, Jaws, E.T., Schindler's List, so many, Jurassic Park. He is creative. He is versatile. He can do so many different genres, and this is one that he has done multiple times before, and then he absolutely tosses the bucket with this one to the point where I don't think I want to see whatever he does next, because if this is an indicator of everything, of anything, it's that he's lost his touch. Not on reality, just on filmmaking. Because this feels like the kind of movie to be made by some obscure, inexperienced filmmaker. But Spielberg is the opposite of an obscure and inexperienced filmmaker. He is the most iconic American director of all time. And he makes this. At least with War of the Worlds 2021, it was entertaining. At least it wasn't overly long. At least Ice Cube, despite his horrendous performance, knew he was being a piece of shit actor with this movie. Not a bad person, like bad performance. You get what I mean. He knew that his performance was bad, so he committed to the bit. That's the thing. War of the Worlds 2021 committed to the bit in the worst way possible, and I love it all the more for it. It's entertaining. It knows it's a piece of shit, doesn't try to hide it. Disclosure Day, once again, hides behind Spielberg's name, hides behind an all-star cast, hides behind the fact that this is the fourth or fifth, I forgot, I haven't kept count, fourth Alien movie he's made, so he should be honing it in the best way possible, and ends up doing it in the worst. Dear golly, man. This one doesn't make the movie itself doesn't make me mad. I didn't get mad. I didn't get pissed off watching it. I got pissed by the fact that it was made by Spielberg, like I said beforehand, because I refuse to believe Spielberg had any creative control with this film. Because if he did, it would be peak. But there was probably so much interference behind the scenes that absolutely butchered what could have been yet another masterpiece from him. But it ends up being his biggest piece of trash to date, and the worst movie I've seen not only all year, but possibly in the last 5 or so years. Dear God, man, I do not know what happened with this one. Like, I don't even have that much to say. In this video, I've mostly been talking about why it angers me, but not why exactly it's bad. I've already said some things. Performances are tired, visuals are bland, aliens are executed poorly, the pacing is bad. Oh yeah, the dialogue sucks as well. The writing feels generic. Uh, it's just generic. I don't have anything else to say about it. It's not that any of the stuff in the movie is like infuriatingly bad. It's just generic, tired. It has nothing to it. I'd rather have a movie that makes me infuriatingly mad because at least I have something to feel about it. But with this one, most of my anger comes from the fact that it was made by Spielberg and not by the fact that the movie itself is horrendous. Like, I barely have anything to say. I went into this theater hoping to see another Spielberg classic. However, I left unchanged. I was thinking about something. I forgot what I was thinking about. I don't remember. But I was thinking about a certain thing. I went on like a tangent in my mind. Then I walked into the theater, watched the movie, came out, immediately continued that tangent in my mind because this was just a roadblock in my day. And once it was finished, I forgot absolutely everything about it. I don't even remember the characters' names because I couldn't care to pay attention because the movie barely even tried to grab my attention. This is a Spielberg film? Okay. So yeah, that's really all I gotta say about Disclosure Day right now. I am immensely disappointed. I'm not angry. Okay, I kind of am angry. I'm not angry at the film itself. I'm just disappointed by the fact that Spielberg, of all people, was the one to do this. The one to make one of the most bland and blatantly AI generated films in years. So, excuse me, I'm gonna go rewatch War of the Worlds 2021 so I can feel alive again. See ya.